Dear learner, now previously we have discussed, dear learners, previously we have discussed about the morphology of the plant, in which we have discussed the mainly root and stems. Today we will going to discuss about the next plant organ, that is leaves. Leaves are also a vegetative organ, as we have discussed earlier in the previous session. So, leaves are the green photosynthetic organs of the plant that arising from the nodes of stems, and the leaves are generally either flattened, either they are bifacial, which is termed as the dorsiventral, as in case of dicot leaves, or they may be unifacial, that is termed as the isobilateral, as in case of monocot leaf, as you can see here in this particular image. So, this one is the dicot leaf and this one is a monocot leaf, and the dicot leaf which has a dorsiventral, that means they have a two different surfaces. We can see one is the dorsal surface and one is the ventral surface, but this there is a no kind of this differentiation in the monocot stem. They look like same from the both the surfaces. Now moving towards the leaf part. If you see the parts of leaf, generally the leaves have a two main part. One is the petiole and the next is the blade. The petiole is a stalk that connecting the blade to the nodal region of the leaf. A petiole is a thin stalk that connects the leaf from the stem, as you can see here, but sometimes the leaves do not have a petiole. This type of leaf is termed as the sessile. So, when the petiole is present, the leaf is termed as the petiolate, and if the petiole is not present, that is this type of leaf is called as sessile leaves. Then the next part of the plant leaf is the blade. Blade is a thin flat part, as you can see here, this is the blade that extend off into the from the petiole, and it contains chlorophyll, which is necessary for the food making process, that is for the photosynthesis. And the blade contains veins, as you can see here, these are the veins, and which has the vascular bundle, that is for the transport of the food materials, because in the vascular bundle there is a presence of a xylem and phloem, xylem transporting the water while the phloem is transporting the food material. So, you can see here mainly there is a two part of the leaf, there is the petiole and the blade, and in which there is a in between there is a vein is present in which vascular bundles is run. So, beside this there is a one more part of the leaf, that is called as the stipules. Stipules arises from the base of the leaves. If stipule is present, then the leaf is called as stipulate, and if the stipule is absent in the leaf base, then leaf is termed as the ex-stipulate. So, this leaf is stipulate, petiolate, and the blade, you can see leaves are simple type with serrate margin and the tip is acute apex, and there is a reticulate type of venetia that present in this particular type of leaf. So, this is the parts of leaf, and if we see the type of venation that is present in the leaf, generally there is a two type of venation. First is termed as the reticulate venation and the next is termed as the parallel venation. In reticulate, it is also unicostate or unicostate. Unicostate that arises from the center and running from the apex. In multicostate, you can see there is a multiple veins is arising from the this particular region, as you can see in the this one is the convergent and this one is the divergent type. So, this is the unicostate, only one mid vein is arises. Here you can see many veins arises from this particular, and these all united at the end. But in the divergent, although there is a many veins that arises from this particular point, but they are not united at the end. So, this is the unicostate, this one is the multicostate. In parallel, there is a further unicostate and multicostate. As you can see here, this is the unicostate, the veins are running parallelly. In the convergent, there is a many veins that arises, these are the parallelly arranged, and these are divergent, there will be no union of these veins in this particular. So, reticulate venation, as we have discussed earlier, that the reticulate venation present in the dicot leaves and the parallel venation is present in the monocot leaves. This is the diagram showing the parallel venation, this one is showing the reticulate venation which is present in the dicot, and this one is present in the monocot leaf. Now, moving towards the types of leaf. Leaves are generally two types, either simple or compound. Simple leaf like in mango and people, and compound further categorized into two categories, pinnately compound and palmately compound. Pinnately compound as case of neem, rose, and palmately compound in case of silk cotton. And that then we will discuss the phyllotaxy of leaf. Generally leaves have the three type of phyllotaxy, that is alternate, opposite or word, that we will discuss in the next slides. Now the types of leaf, as we have discussed earlier, there is a two type of leaf, simple leaf and compound leaf. Simple leaf, when the leaf contain only one leaf blade, as you can see here, there is only one leaf blade. This type of leaf is called as simple leaf, and you can see there is a margin of the leaf is entire or inside, but this particular leaf is a one midrib, you can see here, and this is the simple midrib leaf. Then the next type of leaf is called as compound leaf. In this type of leaf, the lamina is divided into, lamina or petiole is divided into many segments, and this segment is called as leaflets. So this is the type of a compound leaf, and it is arranged on another axis. So this is a simple leaf and this is the compound leaf type. Further, compound leaf is categorized into the many categories, like as we have discussed earlier, that the compound leaf is further pinnately compound leaf or either palmately compound leaf. In the pinnately compound leaf, the leaflet is arranged entirely either opposite manner or alternately on a rachis of the branches. As you can see, these are the leaflets that are arranged opposite manner. So these pinnately compound leaf are further classified into four types, and the first one is the unipinnate. Unipinnate, in which the leaflet is directly, in which rachis, as you can see, it bears the leaflets directly. So it is further has a unipinnate has the further two categories, peripinnate and imperipinnate. In peripinnate, there is a pairs of leaf and the leaflets are present in the even numbers. As you can see, these leaflets are present in the even numbers. They are arranged in a pairs, as in case of cassia tamarindicus. While the next category is the imperipinnate, in which leaflets are present in the odd numbers. As you can see, this one is the odd numbers leaves. So it bears a odd number of leaflets at the end with a terminal single leaflet, as you can see here. The example of this type of leaf is Clitoria or maybe Azadirachta indica. So these are the further two types of unipinnate leaves, in which there is a peripinnate which is present in the leaflet is in pairs or in, you can say, even numbers. In imperipinnate, the leaflet present in the odd numbers. The next is the bipinnate. In this case, there is a further secondary branches are produced from the rachis, as you can see here. This one is the main branch and this is the further secondary branches, and this secondary branches has the leaflets. So this type of present in the bipinnate leaf present in case of Mimosa boudica and Acacia arabica, and the further in the pinnately compound leaf is a tripinnately compound leaf, in which secondary rachis further get branched. As you can see, this one is the first branching, this is the second, and this one is the third. In the third branching, this tertiary branches bears the leaflets. This is the tripinnate leaves, in which tertiary branches has the leaflets, as you can see here. And the common example of this particular type of branching is Moringa oleifera or Roxyxylon of the Bignoniaceae family, or Moringa from the Moringaceae family. So these are the examples of tripinnately compound leaves. Then the next example in the compound leaf is the decompound. When leaf pinnate by the more than 3 times is called as the decompound leaf, as in case of Coryndium, as you can see here, or in case of Funiculum vulgare. Then the second type of compound leaf is the palmately compound leaf. When leaf does not have a rachis, as such condition of the leaflet arises from the top of the petiole. These are the further following type, like in case of unifoliate, the only one leaflet are articulated at the apex of the petiole. As you can see, this one is the petiole and this one is the leaves. This is the unifoliate leaf, as in case of citrus, when there is a 2 leaflet are articulated at the apex of the petiole. So you can say here there is a no axis is there will be no axis is divided. Here only lamina is dividing in case of palmately compound leaves. So it has only one lamina. This one has the bifoliate, two leaflet articulated at the apex of the petiole, that is called as bifoliate, as in case of Zornia, or in case of Bignonia, Hardwickia, in the case of Physalpinaceae family. Then in the case of trifle, there will be three leaflets articulated at the apex of the petiole. So you can see in case of Oxalis, Vitex, they have a three leaflets at the apex of petiole. Then quadrifoliate, which have a four leaflets at the apex of petiole, as in case of Marsilia. Then digitate or multifoliate, when there is a number of leaflet is more than 4, then it is termed as digitate or multifoliate, as in case of Bombyx, Granodotropis of the Capradis family. So these are the some examples of digitate or multifoliate type of compound leaves. Now the next, that is the phyllotaxy. Phyllotaxy is the arrangement of leaf on the stem, and there are the three categories of the phyllotaxy in generally. Spiral, this is also called as alternate phyllotaxy. Here each node bears only one leaf, and the successive leaves usually form a spiral pattern all around the stem, so that the leaves look like in a fixed number of vertical rows called orthostrikers. In opposite phyllotaxy, in this type the phyllotaxy of two leaves are inserted at the each node which is opposite to each other, and in a word there is a number of where three or more leaves arranged at each node in circle around the stem, that is called as the word, as in case of Leucas or Nerium. So in the first one, that is the spiral or alternate phyllotaxy, the first one is the distrikers. Distrikers, in this type the third leaf is just arise above the first leaf, and the fourth leaf is just above the second leaf, and so on. So there is only two orthostriches on which all the leaves are present, as you can see above 1, 3 is above the 1, and 5 above the 3, and 7 above the 5, and 9 above the 7. So there will be a difference of 2, and this kind of leaves are called as distrikers, or in common language this kind of a leaf is called as alternate leaf, and this is also called as two ranked system that present in the Gramineae family or Poaceae family. Then there is a tristrikers type of leaf, in which fourth leaf arise from the base of first leaf, and fifth leaf arrive from the base of second leaf. So this is the three ranked leaf, which is the one of the characteristic of the family Cyperaceae. As you can see here, these are the tristrikers type of leaf that present in the Cyperaceae family. The next is the pentastrikers, in which the sixth leaf, as you can see, is on the base of 1, and the seventh leaf on the base of 2, and the eighth leaf on the base of 3rd, and the ninth on, and so on. So there will be, you find the 5 orthostriches are present on which all the leaves are present. So these are the 5 orthostriches that have the present within which all the leaves are placed, and the example of this type of leaf like the Hibiscus rhodosinensis, Ficus bengalensis, these have the pentastrikers type of leaves. Then octastrikers, here the 9th leaf falls vertically above the first one, and the 10th above the second, and the 11th above the third leaf. So here total 8 orthostriches are present on which all the leaves are present, and this is called present in case of a Carica papaya. Beside this, there is a peristrikers, when the number of orthostriches are not possible to count, so all the leaf placed on indefinite number of vertical lines, that is as in case of Phoenix species, they are called as the peristrikers. So we cannot count the number of orthostriches in this particular case, and in this spiral arrangement the leaf have a particular angular divergence, and the angular divergence is the distance from upon the spiral leaves of the stem between the successive leaf is called as divergence, and this is calculated by the number of circles and divided by the number of leaves or orthostriches. So there is a how many circles are there, and divided, which is divided by the number of leaf or orthostriches. So, from here we can calculate the angular divergence for the spiral arrangement. The next type of arrangement is the opposite phyllotaxy. As we have discussed earlier, that in opposite phyllotaxy, when a pair of leaf is present, that is called as opposite, but this type of opposite phyllotaxy is further categorized into two types, that is the opposite decussate and opposite superimposed. In opposite decussate, the next pair of leaf is present at the 90 angle to the first one. As you can see here, this next pair of leaf is present to the 90-degree angle to the this previous leaves, as in case of Calotropis or Ossipum sanctum. So, they have a opposite decussate type of leaf, and the next is the opposite superimposed. As you can see here, the leaves just superimposed from the pair of leaves just superimposed the one on another. So, this type of a leaf is known as the opposite superimposed, as in case of Kerkelis indica that belong to the Megalaceae family, or Sadium gojava, that is case belong to the Myrtaceae family. So, opposite have a further two type, opposite decussate and opposite superimposed. And the third category phyllotaxy, that is the whorled phyllotaxy, when there is a 3 or more leaves that are arranged on the node, that is in circle, that is called as the whorled phyllotaxy. As you can see here, these have the whorled phyllotaxy that present in case of Leucas or Nerium indicum. You can see in this picture, these are the whorled arrangement of the leaf, which is called as whorled phyllotaxy. Now, if we see the shape of leaves, depending upon the shape of leaf, there is a different term which is used. Like this one is called as the acicular, which has a very pointed structure. Then these are the linear shape. Then this one is the lanceolate shape. This is the subulate, oblolanceolate. This one has the elliptical shape. This one is the ovate shape, obovate. Then oblong. This one has the heart like this, called as chordate shape, or this one is called as the obchordate shape. This one is called as the rotund. Then reniform. So, these are the depending upon the shape of leaf, like this was the arrow like which is called as sagittate or hastate. As you can see, these are the prominent angle line. Then coneate, lyrate. So, depending upon the shape of leaf, they have a different term that is used for the shapes of leaf. And the next, similarly, depending upon the base of the leaf, they may be acuminate. As you can see, this is the shape is oblique, it is called as oblique. Generally, leaves are acute at base, then sagittate in case of they have arrow like, or roundate, maybe hastate or chordate, as you can see here, or truncate type. These are the some bases of type of leaf. Then similarly, apex is also have a different shape, like this one is the acuminate, and the most common type is this is the acuate. Then apiculate, this one is the aristate shape of leaf, this is the chordate, this is cirrhose. This one is the cleft, you can see these are the presence of a cleft. Then cupiscate, emarginate. So, these are the some apex you can see here. This one is the rounded, this is the obtuse type, this is the truncate. So, these are the apex shape, on the base there is a name of the leaf. Then if the margin is smooth, then the leaves is called as entire, and the margin is somewhat wavy, this is called as undulate. If the margin is teeth like, it is called as serrate. If margin is very much teeth like, then it is called as double serrate. Then this one is the dentate, when it is teeth like margin. Then crenate, you can see these are the small lobe. Then these are the lobe leaf, because their margins are lobed in nature. Then these are the parted leaf in case of brassica. Then these are the palmate leaf, you can say these are the margins have a palmate leaves. So, these are the some terminologies that used for the leaves. Now, moving towards the kinds of leaf. Depending upon which type of function is performed by the leaf, they have different types of leaf. Like the most common type of leaf is the foliage leaf. These are the most common leaf that develop from the nodes, and these leaves are concerned with the photosynthesis and transpiration. This is the main two function of the leaf, is the performing the purpose of photosynthesis and the transpiration. So, these type of leaves is called as foliage leaf. Then there is also presence of a scale leaves or cataphyls. These leaves are the thin scaly membranous structure occur on the underground stem and branches, as you can see. As in case of onion, you can see there is a scale leaves which is fleshy in nature. Can consume we are consuming the scale leaves in case of onion. Then seed leaves are all cotyledonary leaves. These leaves are arising from the embryo. These are the first leaves that originated from the seeds after germination. These are the cotyledonary leaves. Then bracts leaf, these are the special leaves that modify into structure or color of maybe ordinary foliage leaves. You can see these are the colored structure, these are the bracts leaves. You can see here these all the colors due to the bracts leaf. Then floral leaves or sporophylls, these are the leaf of flower, because flower is a modified shoot that is modified from the leaves. So these leaves are termed as the floral leaves or sporophylls. You can see the stamen, carpels, corolla, these all are the modifications of the leaves. So these are the termed as the sporophylls. Then not this last part of the stem, not last part of the leaf, it is the modifications of leaf. Leaf may be also modified into the tendrils. Here you can see maybe whole leaf or a part of leaf will be modified into the tendril, as in case of Pisum sativum. You can see in this particular Pisum, that is in pea plant only, a leaflet is modified into the tendril. You can see these are the leaflet which is modified into the tendril structure that help the plant in support. Then in case of Lythras, you can see here the leaf is modified into the tendril. Then in the case of Nerelia, this terminal leaf is modified into the tendril. So these all are the tendrils is modified form of the leaflets. Then spine, in many cases the leaf is modified into the spiny structure that help in the reduction of the transpiration, as we have discussed earlier, that is Opuntia. Opuntia, that is example of a phylloclade, as you can see here. In this particular Opuntia, in phylloclade, the leaf is converted into the spiny structure. So they can reduce the rate of transpiration. In case of Yucca, the leaf apex is also spiny. In case of Argemone mexicana, they bear leaf spines on their margins. And in case of barberries, the leaf spine, you can see here the leaves are modified into the spines. So these spines protecting the plant from the animal grazing. Next is the fleshy leaves. Fleshy leaves are modifications of normal leaf that store the water and mucilage. As you can see, these are the aloe vera leaves, that is also called as succulent leaves. They are storing the water and food materials. These are the examples of aloe leaves, that is also Aloe barbadensis. So these are the fleshy leaves examples. Then the next one is the hooks. Sometimes the leaves modify into hooks like a structure, like in case of this particular you can see these are the leaves which is modified into the hooks, as in case of Bignoniania. So these are the three terminal leaves that modify into the sharp hard hook that help the plant through the upward movement. Then in some plant there is a modification of leaf into the root like structure, as in case of Myriophyllum, that this one is the hydrophytic plant that has a root, that is modification of the leaf. Then in insectivorous plants, leaf is modified into the particular structure that help in the capturing of the stem which has a digestive enzyme. So you can see here the leaf is modified into this particular picture plant dependent structure. You can see this is the lid and this is the whole lamina. If insect is come inside this particular, this lid is get closed and the insect is trapped in this particular pitcher plants. And after the digestion of this particular insect, the pitcher plant will take the nutrition, that is the minerals from this particular insect. Similarly, some other insectivorous plants like Drosera, the leaves of Drosera is also have a globular thread like structure, that is touch that has the response in the case of touch. When insect is touches this particular, they generally fold and they trap the insect. Similarly, in case of bladderwort, the plants form the insect catching apparatus, as you can see. When the stem is insect is get close to this particular organs, they can catch the insect and they trap in between their insects. The example of this particular bladderwort is the utricularia, as you can see in this particular image. Then similarly, in case of Aldrovandra orc, that is also belong to the Droseraceae family, you can see these are the into the aquatic, these are the organs. When these particular plants, they also have a two lamina which is divided into two halves when the insect, or similarly some part will come to the there these bladder will closes that help in the capturing of the insects, because insect will be get trapped in these two walls of these plants. So, after the digestion of this particular insect, these plants get nutrition from their plant body material. Besides this, there is some modification of the petiole also, as we have discussed earlier. There is the modifications of the lamina, like petiole is also modified into the sometime, like in case of winged, as in case of citrus. They may be modified into the phyllodes that performing the work of photosynthesis, as in case of acacia. Then they may be modified into the tendril for the support of the plant. Then they may be become spongy for the floating on the surface. So, one of the main examples of the petiole modification is the phyllodes. Phyllodes in which the petiole is modified into the green leaf like structure, as you can see here, that present in the acacia. These are the Australian species in which petiole is become flattened, as you can see here, and this petiole is performing the work of photosynthesis, and in these plants leaf become very small in size. As you can say, leaves are very small, that is reducing the rate of transmission, and the phyllodes performing the work of photosynthesis in these acacia species. Then the third floral part of the leaf is the stipule. As I have told you, the stipule is the growth of at the base of the leaf, that is called as the hypopodium, which is generally growing on the both side of the leaf base, or maybe large and conspicuous in some cases, or modified into the discharge some special functions. As you can see, generally petioles are free lateral, as you can see here in case of hibiscus sinensis. These are the free lateral type of stipules, as you can see here. Then they will be adnate type in case of rose. You can see these are the petiole which is the adnate, that is attached with the petiole on the both side, as you can see here with the certain height. So, they will be free central adnate, that means they are attached to the petiole, as in case of Rosa sinensis. Then interpetiolar, as you can see, they are intrapetiolar, that means they are present just to the petiole. You can see these are the intrapetiolar stipules in case of gardenia in rubiaceae. Then interpetiolar, you can see they are united in between the petioles of two opposite leaves. You can see these are the interpetiolar, which is present in the Ixora species, or they may be arcuate when the stipules are sheath like, as you can see here they are forming the sheath like structure. There is a arcuate stipule that present in the Polygonaceae family, especially in the Polygonum barbatum. You can see these are the sheath like structures formed by the stipules. So, these are the arcuate stipule, that is the characteristic of the Polygonaceae family. Then may be modified into the foliaceous stipule, like in case of Fabaceae family. These are the leaf foliaceous stipule of the Pisophyllum. You can see here these are the modified into the foliaceous structure. Then stipule is modified into the tendril like structure. You can see this in this Smilex, these stipules are modified into the tendrils in case of Smilex plants. Then they may be modified into the spines in case of Ziziphus, that belong to the Rhamnaceae family, or they may be look like a bird or convolute, as in case of Ficus bengalensis or Hevia braziliensis. So, they may be membranous or modified into the bud scale or convolute shape. These are the convolute or bud scale. So, these are some modifications of leaf. That is all for today. Next we will learn about the flower part and their different terminology that are associated with the flower part. Thank you all for joining this session. That is all for today.